our hope at some point is like my face and Jeff's face and Andy's face are no longer in the videos in Africa or India or in Germany. They're all going to be replaced with people on the ground in those spaces who've learned from us, who now can articulate what we're doing, and then realize, you know what? We need to shift this about 6 degrees from where you're doing. We're not going a different direction, but to really hit our people, we need to be a step over to the right or left because it will resonate and connect and get deeper with them than what the American version of it is.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
dude.
God's calling me now into a new space out of this.
I have down here TCD care, digital pastoral care. Tell us about that.
So we're just launching this. We have been in the works for this for about 3 years. Okay. It's taken that long because we knew that being in digital spaces, there's addiction that happens. There is, doom scrolling that happens. There's depression in the space. There's fatigue that you have. There's burnout. And we want to help people who are doing ministry in digital spaces to get help. And we would go to prominent organizations, who do help with mental health, who help with counseling, who help with addiction. Doesn't matter what it was. We would have conversations and they go, sure, we'll help you do that. But people need to show up in person. And we're like, this isn't going to work. Our people are networked across the country and they're around the globe. How are you going to tell them they have to show up in person? They're not going to be able to do this.
It's an impossible sell is what it is.
Right. It was like, essentially what it was is just tell people, go find somebody local and get the help there you need. And it's like, no, we can't do that. So we finally came to an organization in South Africa who is called Exodus Ministries. And they've been doing this. They've been developing it. And I love also that it's someone outside the U.S. because it gives us a better global voice to be able to reach the needs of people globally. So I really love that. And so we've got 4 individuals who've gone through the training, and they're going to be launching care groups in May. So there'll be a men's group and a women's group. And down the road, we'll do some very specific addiction groups. But to begin with, we want to just focus on what the program they have called Thrive. So if you just think about, like, I want my life to be as good as it can be, but I know I've got some stuff going on that I need to deal with and overcome. It is a 6 to 8 month. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, that's going to take a lot of time. But this is like helping yourself. Like, this is taking a deep dive through scripture, looking at yourself with some other things in there. I've not gone through all the material. So if you go to thechurch.digital/care, you can get connected with all that info. But there'll be a couple of groups launching, and they're going to spend 6 to 8 months in a small group learning and sharing about stuff in their lives, stories to help them uncover, why do you operate the way that you do? Why do you do the things that you do? How can you make yourself better and be a better person so that you aren't, like, as a hurting person, hurting other people while you're trying to do ministry?
Yeah,
so,
hurt people for sure.
Hurt people, exactly. So we want everyone to thrive. We also have a vision for this, that if you're in a ministry and you come and get training with us, you go back to your ministry and you unleash it in your community. So one of the partners we have is Pastor Coco from VRMMO Church. And so the hope is for her to come in and learn and bring it back to her church and her community, because
I love that.
She already knows a whole bunch of people that would need and want this. And she's been in our conversations too for the last couple of years. Is there anything? Do you know anything? And we're like, we keep trying to find it. We know we can't create it. We might have a little bit of counseling as pastors and pastoral counseling, but we needed something more in depth to be developed and put together. So it's great to partner with people instead of reinventing everything.
Dude, I've been saying that for years. I am sick and tired on a personal level of constantly reinventing the wheel. And I feel like early on, we all did that. Everybody was like, well, I know it's already out there, but they're doing it. And so if I want to do it, I have to make my own wheel. And I'm like, I'm not a tire shop. I'm just not, man. Like, I mean, we as Love Thy Nerd, we want to be a vehicle, right? Yeah. And we think of like Nerd Culture Ministry Collective as like that's the auto body shop, right? Like let's bring people together and what's the need, and we'll find people that can you can partner with and that can fix the thing or whatever. But like Love Thy Nerd, we want to be the vehicle that your wheel gets attached to so that it can move further and faster and fulfill its purpose. So sitting around and going, man, I'm hearing Flat talk about digital pastoral care. How can I create that? I'm not even worried about that. I'm like, all right, how do I just add that wheel, man? How do I gain access to getting people on board with that? And
well, and with all of this has a very particular, the Thrive has a very particular curriculum that's already developed and do that. But with our equipping digital missionaries, like you come through it, we want you to take it. We want you to make it yours. So our hope at some point is like my face and Jeff's face and Andy's face are no longer in the videos in Africa or India or in Germany. They're all going to be replaced with people on the ground in those spaces who've learned from us, who now can articulate what we're doing, and then realize, you know what? We need to shift this about 6 degrees from where you're doing. We're not going a different direction, but to really hit our people, we need to be a step over to the right or left because it will resonate and connect and get deeper with them than what the American version of it is.
Oh, and dude.
So it's beautiful on that regard. And that goes to they're not reinventing it. They're taking and making some modifications the same way that, you're talking about the auto body shop. When I was in high school, all of us guys that were doing things, we're modifying our cars. We're not car builders, but I'm putting Krager SS wheels on mine. I'm putting louvers on the back and putting hooker headers in and an Edelbrock carburetor, So I'm modifying it to meet the needs that I want it to be, but I'm not making cars.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about like the idea of reinventing the wheel, and maybe we'll kind of land the plane here. This is like there's only so many things you can do to the tire to make it new, right? You can change the way that the spokes are on it. You can change the thickness of the rubber. Does it have a tube? Does it not have a tube? Like there are some very specific, like you're talking about, modifications to the wheel that makes sense. But I think that like the last like really truly innovative thing that I saw that was like the reinvention of a wheel was NASA reinvented the wheel for use in zero gravity, low gravity spaces. And so what they did was they totally removed all of the rubber from the wheel. And so now it's this super science fiction mesh metal that has memory in it. And so when it goes over a rock that could be small and it could be large, AAA is not going to the moon, right?
No,
AAA is not going to go to Mars. And so it needs to be able to form to that space and then reform to, the shape of the wheel, a round wheel. And so I think about that a lot of times in what we're doing with digital space and digital ministry and nerd culture ministry and all that stuff. Like, are we just trying to like scrape Goodyear off of the side of the tire and slap Nerd Culture Ministry Collective or Love Thy Nerd or whatever it is? Or are we truly doing something that's innovative that we could not have done with somebody else's wheel, right? Like if you're going to really change it, have a need and have a reason to do that. And if not, go further, faster together, right? Like let's lock arms with each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, along those lines, like we were, when we're doing the discipleship piece, we kept running into people around the globe and they already had a discipleship piece. So it's like, why are we going to try to tell you to use our discipleship piece? All we need to do is help you figure out how to do it digitally. Oh, yeah. So we really, that was another piece that was like, we're trying to give you our curriculum. And it's like, you didn't need our curriculum. You needed our tactics in order to be able to shift and move into that space, which, I'll just say this. One of the things that God's calling me into, I think this year, is to go back to the physical church and say, I've learned all of these things. You went online during COVID. You're still convinced you're supposed to be online. You've collected some people that are viewers, but you don't know what to do. And I'm looking to step in and help coach those people to do digital community because they don't know the community piece. They only watch and understand social media, which isn't community. And they're like, well, I don't know what to do with that. We've got a social media person. We put posts out there, but people don't show up in person. And it's like, oh, there's a whole bunch of steps you need to do to build a relationship before they'll ever show up in person. And so that's one of the things that God is moving me towards. And, out of my tangible resource director, look at the physical church and say, where are the gaps that they have in ministry? Because they're going to be the same ones in digital space. And I'm just saying, how does digital help solve that problem? And then trying to write things around that. And so I've had my ears are open to every conversation. I've got 3 things from Nerd Culture Ministry Summit that I wrote down that I've got to go research, see if somebody's doing it, and write an article and say, here's how you can solve this problem that you're facing.
That's fantastic.